Well, I think tech-wise, it's been a good week. Personally, maybe not so great, but tech-wise, I enjoyed the Canva announcement yesterday. I really enjoyed that announcement. And before we jump into that, I was I do my best thinking sometimes in the shower, and I was in the shower this morning, and I was kind of going over what I wanted to talk about in my head, and you know, I kept going back to that Canva presentation yesterday and some of the things they said. And overall, when we get these presentations, they're wanting us to buy something. They're wanting us, to show you the new features. So in turn, you go buy something. This was the first presentation I felt like I have seen in a while where people just said, "We want you to create. We want you to use our products." Now, I know we're going to say why that is later in the pod, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but that was the first presentation where, as they're talking, I'm clicking on canva.com. I'm looking, I'm reading, I'm seeing what things are going to cost me, what things aren't going to cost me, because at the end of that presentation, I really wanted to go use their product. That's the way I felt. I didn't feel like we were competing. I felt like they want you to go use their product and create things and do things. It was This is available for $12.99, shipping tomorrow. Put your credit card down. We would like that, please. Thank you. Have a good day. It really had a different feeling, and that was something I enjoyed.
I mean, why postpone it? Let's get into that conversation. I'll actually let you run off with that first topic.
Well, okay. As we know, as I was just alluded to, Canva had a really big announcement yesterday. As we know, Serif, that's how I pronounce it, acquired Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer earlier this year. And October 1st, Affinity kind of went dark and left people wondering what was going to happen. They just said October 30th, we will show you what's new. And everybody thought, oh man, they're going that subscription model. I now I'm going to have to choose which subscription I'm going to pay for. And there are subscriptions, yes, but as far as what we thought, I think we couldn't be more wrong. Affinity, let's go ahead and put it out of the bag. The Affinity products are free. They are free forever. No subscription, no money, no credit card required. So feel free to grab those products, jump in, and create. Now, AI, as we know, is not free. So if you want the AI parts where you can edit your videos, you can replace the background, which was also something they upgraded, by the way. You have to pay for your subscription to get those AI features. But look at that price. The typical one most people are going to go for is $120 a year. There's an enterprise business one that's $200 a year. The $200 a year one gets you access to other AI models that will come later that aren't here yet, plus the ability to work with your teams. But my point is, when you look at Canva now, as you're seeing on the screen for those that can watch, you have the ability to edit your photos, you have the ability to edit your videos, you have AI now baked in to the entire Canva suite. I won't go over each and every feature that was demoed. You can go check out the link in our post and watch the complete YouTube presentation for yourself. But the hammer has been thrown at Adobe, I think. And I don't think the hammer is thrown where you think. I think Adobe keeps the enterprise customer, the people that are doing real movie work, 3D animations, etc., Adobe's fine. But for the consumer, the prosumer, the YouTuber, the Twitch, the TikTok, now you have another choice. I have used the program briefly last night. I paid my $120 because my Adobe subscription ran out 3 days ago. So I think I'm switching from what I have seen so far. I think this will do it for most people, most of our social media creators, our marketing teams out there. Canva has done a nice job. Now, I will throw this out there. We talked about it off mic. It's available for Mac, it's available for Windows. It's coming later for iPad and coming later for Android. So we don't have tablet support yet, but at least we've got Mac and PC in there. What did you think? I know we enjoyed kind of chit chatting back to get back and forth while this was going on. What did you think, and have you put down your $120 yet? I have a feeling you have, or you're going to.
I'm going to. It's weird. Before I get into all the things I liked about it, I think you and I talked about. I got an email from Adobe saying, "Here's a credit," and I
Oh
think
yeah, I
you
got
got the
that too.
same one. And I need to go check Reddit. Maybe I'll write about this. That I think it's not a coincidence. The two of us who live in very different areas got a credit from Adobe within minutes of the Canva announcement ending. It was the craziest thing. Yeah, I'll have to check the timestamp, but it was relatively within like 30 minutes of the announcement ending and Adobe saying, "Oh, here, we're giving your credit back." You said this a very similar experience. I do wonder how many people got a credit back because Affinity is very good at replicating a lot of the features from Adobe, and they one of their features that they talked about during this announcement was that they were converting all of their extensions into one. So you no longer need to have a PSD, a separate AVI, a separate impact. Like you could take these assets, convert them from Photoshop into Canva and vice versa. And I think a lot of people who will now, as we're going to get into this conversation, be a little more price conscious going into the holiday, at least here in the States. I think there's an economic sort of recession, at least a feeling of it, maybe not an official one, but a feeling of it across the world. I think the inflation's up across the world. People are becoming a little more price conscious about where they're spending their money and where they can or cannot do that. And I think for a lot of people, to your point, they may not be the professionals who could afford the $60 a month from Adobe because their job is subsidizing that. And again, their job might be a professional in a studio somewhere where they're like, "Hey, we'll just pay for the whole year, pay for 3 years at a time. Don't worry about it. Just get your creative stuff done." There are a lot of us who are choosing to use perhaps DaVinci Resolve as a combination with GIMP or maybe Affinity Photo. I use it with Filmora. I do use DaVinci Resolve sometimes. I don't pay for the full 250, which I should, but I haven't. And Adobe's still there. It's still a great product, but I do wonder if they had somebody in PR understand, hey, we're about to get hit with a bunch of people who are going to try this out. To my partner's own lived experience, a bunch of people are going to run out and try this, and it's free. Again, free. You get about 90% of the software. What you're not getting is a lot of the AI features, which are good. Adobe does offer that in their subscription, and they're very good. But if you can live without the AI, if you just know how to run regular Photoshop and kind of do things as they are, then you're gonna have a good time with this. And again, I wonder if Adobe is like, all right, well, let's make sure that they don't leave for too long. Let's give them some money back. They could feel like, hey, at least they get a free month trial to try both of us, and we can win on that merit. So anyway, I rambled on to say that I confirm and agree with David's assessment that the competition has been laid down. $120 for the year is still much cheaper than, again, like I said, $60, depending on like all the features you get from Adobe. If you're just someone who uses Photoshop and Premiere, I think I don't even know if there's a plan for that. I think there's Photoshop and like Lightroom, and then there's like Premiere by itself. I think between the two, it's still like 40 something bucks a month. and you extrapolate that over a full year, you're still, paying more just for those two products than you would with Canva. Now, again, Canva doesn't offer a video editor, which that is a big key thing. But you can, again, like you said, you can supplement that with Filmora, you can DaVinci Resolve. I think you can do it. I mean, if you have an iPad, I think, what is the other one called? I'm drawing a blank, but there's a good one on iPad that you can use.